Somebody is really stressed out. They're not stressed out for no reason. It's because they're focusing on something that makes them feel stressed. They often, when they're focusing on it, it changes the body. You start to feel tight. You start to feel a certain way. And then they use language like, I don't know what to do. Why am I so overwhelmed? So 3 things control how you feel every moment. What you focus on, what you do with your body. If your shoulders are down, if you're breathing like, it's not hard to figure out. You're not going to be in a very resourceful state. If I take that same person and I change their body radically, I get them to talk at a different tempo. I get them to move their body differently. So if we change what we focus on, if we change the way we use our body, if we change our language patterns, we'll instantly feel different. Think of how do people use their body when they're worried versus when they're excited. If you learn to use your body first, use your focus first, you can literally change how you feel in moments, and then you develop new habits where you start to feel good all the time, and it isn't some phony fake pump up. It's literally the way you've conditioned your body. Just like being fit as an athlete, you want to be emotionally fit. When you're not sure what you're going to do, you're going to hesitate. And hesitation kills momentum. And momentum is what makes a sports team win. It's what makes an athlete, a business person win. When you get momentum, it's like takes enormous energy to get a rocket out of our gravitational pull of the earth. But out of the solar system is easy. Once it has momentum, it takes less fuel, less energy. Starting a relationship, starting a business, changing your body, it takes so much in the beginning. But once you get going, it's actually really easy. Well, think about it. We all have a need for certainty. We have a need to know that we can avoid pain, that we can be comfortable. Some people do that when they're stressed by smoking. Some people work out hard to deal with it. Some people eat to try to get that comfort back. But if you were certain every moment of your life, you knew what people are going to do, when they're going to do it, how they're going to do it, you'd be bored out of your mind. So we also need uncertainty. If you have too much uncertainty, you freak out. If you have too little, you feel bored out of your mind. And you can get uncertainty or variety by a great conversation, by making love, by taking on a new job or a new career, a new opportunity. You get a million ways. The question is, do you meet your needs in ways that are positive or negative? Because sugar will make you feel good in the moment, but you feel good long term. Smoking a cigarette will make you comfortable and certain, but it might be variety. It changes how you feel when you're stressed, so it meets 2 needs.
That's why it's
not sustainable. But that's what makes somebody addicted. The first 4 needs are the needs of the personality. We all find a way to be certain, even if we have to lie to ourselves or just work hard. We all find variety. We all find significance, even if it's tearing other people down. We all find at least connection, if not love. But the spiritual needs are to grow. When people say, what does it take to be happy? I say one word, progress. If you're not there yet, but you are starting to make some progress in your body, progress on your relationship, or progress on your career, your finances, you're gonna feel good. And when you achieve it, how long do you feel good for? Not very long, because when you achieve it, you stop growing, you kind of celebrate, nothing wrong with that. But how long after you get that thing you wanted are you happy? A week, a month, a year? Almost never a year. It's a short time, and the reason is we're not supposed to just sit there at the table of success and celebrate for years. We need to grow to feel alive, and everything in the universe grows or it dies. But when we grow, we have something to give. And when we give, people often say human beings are selfish. I've been selfish, I'm sure you've been at times, but that's not my core and it's not anybody's, and I'll prove it to you. When you're having, all of you at home and all of you here, when you have something great in your life that happens, you learn something, you experience something beautiful, what's the first thing you want to do?
Tell people.
Share somebody what you love. Why? Because when you share with it, it expands. See, pleasure is something coming in from the outside. Happiness is something inside you that you share. Ooh. And happiness is what people really want. Pleasure, you can get pleasure from alcohol or sex or anything, but some people, it's all about me. When you're taking what's inside yourself because you've grown and you're giving to someone you love, your children, a friend, a girlfriend, boyfriend, a coworker, anybody, there's an aliveness you can't feel by yourself. There's only so much pleasure you can feel. Happiness and joy comes when that expansion is shared. Well, if you want to break through, not just a little change, you can change laterally. You can go from being pissed off to frustrated.
Right.
Doesn't help you much, right? But if you really want to change, most people are trying to change. Say you want to lose weight and they want to make money. They go, how do I do it? They look for the strategy. But I'd like all 3 of you to think of 3 S's. Strategy is where most people go first. Like, how do I do it? But how hard is it really truly to be fit and have energy? It's not that complex. It's not like reserved for the 1% or expensive to learn. You have to interrupt, you have to hide from the answers to those things. The real problem is the second S, story. See, the reason a person's making progress, they may not know what to do. Sometimes that's true. But some people know what to do and they don't do what they know. That's most people.
Yes.
And so why? They have a story that says, it's a set of beliefs they tell themselves over and again. I've tried everything. Or if they're single, all the good ones are gone. Whatever the story is. And if you tell yourself a story over and over again, Hitler used to say, tell a story big enough, loud enough, long enough, people believe you. Well, we're Hitler to ourselves. We convince ourselves. The thing we really need though is, you always come up with a lousy story when you're in a lousy state.
Yes.
And so the number one thing I show people to do is how to change their emotional state. When you're feeling tired or frustrated, when you learn how to change your body so that you really feel excited and isn't fake, when you learn how to change your biochemistry, which is what I teach people to do, so your emotional state controls the story you have about your life, and then your story determines whether you find a strategy, or even if you know the strategy, whether you really do it or not. When people say I tried, what they're really telling me is I have a story that says I should try this, but it's really not gonna work. So I give it a half-reared attempt and it didn't work, and now I can tell people I tried. What you really gotta do is learn to change your emotion, your state, change your story, and then you can find the strategy, or you can make the strategy to work. I constantly believe you gotta feed your mind and challenge your body, because the mind-body works together. You know, what stops people, as we said, is fear. Well, fear is physical. You feel it in your throat, your gut. But if you do something really physically strong on a regular basis, you develop a new emotional habit. And that emotional habit will get you to follow through and do things differently that people won't do. It's really not that complex. There are a few habits in your life that truly could change your whole life. I start every single day with this process called priming, training my brain to be in a peak state. My number one favorite question, and the time that most people use it, is if you're really frustrated or sad or worried or depressed, or you think something horrible's happened, my favorite question to ask myself is, what else could this mean? All our pain comes from believing something that makes us stressed, rather than saying, hey, there's lots of options. In our country today, we see people on two sides of things. We're all brothers and sisters. We all take any issue, guns, right? People make the other side evil on both sides. Everybody wants our children protected. Everyone wants our homes and our churches and our schools to be safe. Let's stop beating each other up and doing that. And that's the only way we'll make progress, is find what we do agree on. We might have different ideas of how to do that, but that doesn't make the other person evil. Once you start believing the other person's evil, all you're really doing is feeding your own significance, your own ego. I'm right, you're wrong, and that'll never solve a damn thing. Do you want to be right? Do you want to be in love? That's why I tell intimate relationships, right? You know, it's the same thing in life. Your purpose is to enjoy your life, to grow, and to give. Like, everyone has different ways, but we all compare it sometimes. Is it enough? Is it strong enough? Is it big enough? What I found in my life is, do what's in front of you with all your vigor, all your passion. Give the most you can. Focus on giving, not trying to receive, and you'll receive more than you could ever imagine. But the person who's always trying to get, nobody wants to deal with that person. Nobody wants to be around them. The secret to living is giving. It's what makes you feel alive, because you're no longer in scarcity. You're no longer trying to get, and no one wants to be around them, but you don't want to be around yourself in that state. How do you get out of it? It's just a habit. It's just like, let me find every day one person to start my day that I can sincerely compliment, no BS, find something great about them, or someone I could help who's in a worse case than I am. It could be something very little. But when you get in those habits, then all of a sudden life is, like I wake up every day, my whole thing before I came here, before I do anything, is like, God, use me. It's like, I want to be a blessing in the life of anybody I meet in some way. Sometimes that blessing is I can take a picture for them and they're excited. Sometimes I can do an intervention. Sometimes I can invite them to seminar. Sometimes I can do love on them. Sometimes I ask them a great question. But if we're all focused on being a blessing in each other's lives, then our life is filled with blessings, because we're not trying to get. All the love you want from others, if you feel inside yourself, you'll be expressing it to others, and every time you express it, you feel alive inside. Otherwise, people can tell you they love you all day long, and you can go, yeah, they don't really love me. I know lots of celebrities who started out wanting so much love, so they become successful and unique, so they get all this adoration, and they don't like their lives now because they don't think it's sincere. I said, your focus is, if you're a celebrity, why don't you use your platform to serve in some way outside what you do? Not attack, but serve. If you do that, you're gonna have a rich life.